What if the key to more peace, joy, and energy in your 70s isn't found in adding more, but in letting go? As we get older, we're often told to hold on to routines, to habits, to stuff, to people, to everything that once gave us meaning or structure. But what no one tells you is that some of the most powerful healing can come from releasing the very things that quietly weigh us down. And if you're in your 60s, 70s, or beyond, you've likely picked up more than your share of burdens. Not just physical clutter, but emotional baggage, outdated expectations, lingering guilt, or obligations that no longer serve your health or happiness. It's no wonder you might feel tired before the day even begins. But imagine what could shift if you gave yourself permission to let go, gently, with love, and without fear. In this video, we're going to explore 5 things that older adults often hold on to long after they've stopped being helpful. By learning how to release them, you may find yourself breathing deeper, sleeping better, and even smiling more easily. This isn't about throwing your life into chaos. It's about simplifying in a way that makes space for what truly matters now: peace, clarity, and a little more joy in your days. So, take a deep breath. You don't have to rush. You don't have to change everything. Just stay with us to the end and consider which one of these quiet changes might help you breathe a little easier this year. Because sometimes, the most graceful thing you can do for your future is to let go of what no longer fits your present. And if this message touched your heart, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss more gentle, meaningful conversations like this one. Together, let's make this chapter the most peaceful and fulfilling yet. 1. Let go of toxic or draining relationships. You see, your emotional space matters deeply, especially after 70. At this stage in life, your time and energy are sacred. Every conversation, every visit, every phone call has the power to either fill you with light or quietly drain your spirit. It's easy to overlook this. Many of us were taught to hold on tightly to relationships, no matter how they make us feel. Maybe it's a childhood friend, a distant relative, or even a longtime neighbor. But the truth is, longevity alone doesn't make a relationship healthy. And being kind-hearted doesn't mean you must endlessly absorb criticism, complaints, or coldness. You may have already noticed it. Certain people leave you feeling small, exhausted, or anxious after you speak with them. Maybe they never truly listen. Maybe they take more than they give. Maybe they expect your support, but never offer theirs in return. That subtle tension, that heaviness in your chest after they leave, it's your intuition trying to speak up. Letting go of these relationships isn't an act of cruelty. It's an act of clarity and self-respect. And choosing peace isn't selfish. It's a gift to yourself. It's acknowledging that your emotional energy is not limitless, and it deserves to be honored. Start by gently setting boundaries. You don't need to explain every feeling or justify every choice. You can begin with small shifts, limiting how often you respond, how long you stay on the phone, or how much of yourself you give away. If the relationship is salvageable, clear communication might help. If not, it's okay to lovingly let go. Imagine spending your days surrounded by people who see you, truly see you, who listen, uplift, and appreciate you for exactly who you are. The conversations feel natural. The visits are energizing. There's laughter, understanding, and ease. That's not a fantasy. It's a reflection of what's possible when you give yourself permission to choose emotional wellness over obligation. This doesn't mean cutting ties in anger. It simply means stepping back from what drains you and leaning into what strengthens you. Prioritize those who bring warmth to your life. Seek out connections where you feel heard and valued. These are the relationships that help you thrive, not just survive. And if you're feeling guilt, know this: you are not turning your back on love. You are choosing the kind of love that nourishes your soul, not the kind that leaves you depleted. You've given so much of yourself throughout your life, to family, to friends, to your community. Now is the time to give yourself the same compassion and care, because you deserve to be surrounded by warmth, respect, and authenticity. And the more you protect your peace, the more room you'll have for joy, healing, and connection that truly matters. 2. Let go of regrets and self-blame. It shows up as a soft whisper at first. What if I'd done it differently? Or if only I had said something sooner? And over time, those whispers can become heavy. You carry them not in your hands, but in your heart, and they weigh down your present, even when the past is long gone. Here's the truth that often gets lost in the silence. Regret doesn't change the past, but if left unchecked, it can quietly steal your joy in the now. And you deserve better than that. You deserve peace. Harold, 76, from Spokane, Washington, once shared his story of living with a regret that haunted him for years. He had a close friend from his youth, someone he hadn't spoken to in decades. Pride got in the way, then time passed, and before he knew it, the opportunity to reconcile was gone. The guilt stayed with him. It felt like I'd failed, he said. Not just him, but myself. For years, he replayed the missed phone call he never made. But eventually, Harold found a path toward healing. He started journaling. He began volunteering at a senior men's group where he listened with empathy and showed up with kindness. I can't go back, he said, but I can choose to show up better today. That's the turning point, realizing that while you can't change the past, you can absolutely shape the present. Regret doesn't mean you failed. It means you cared. And caring is human. But so is forgiveness, especially forgiving yourself. If you find yourself revisiting old wounds, try writing them out. Not to dwell on the pain, but to notice how far you've come. Journal your growth, not just your mistakes. Speak to yourself as you would a loved one, with softness, understanding, and patience. Imagine what you might say to a dear friend carrying the same regret. Would you condemn them or offer grace? Every misstep taught you something. Every hard lesson shaped your strength. You are not your errors. You are the sum of your resilience, your compassion, and your willingness to keep going. You've earned the right to stop punishing yourself for things you cannot change. You've earned the right to heal, to soften, to move forward without dragging chains behind you. Because you are more than your past. You are your courage, your strength, and your story. And there is still so much life left to live. So many new moments waiting to be filled, not with guilt, but with gentleness and grace. 3. Let go of unhealthy habits. Our physical habits, like our emotional patterns, often form slowly over time. And by the time we notice them, they've quietly taken root in our routines. But here's the good news. Just as you can choose to forgive yourself and let go of guilt, you can also choose to gently release habits that no longer serve your health, happiness, or confidence. Unhealthy habits don't always appear dramatic or life-threatening. Often, they're small things we've simply gotten used to. Maybe you've started skipping breakfast more often, grabbing something packaged just to make it through the morning. Or perhaps moving around has become more of a chore than a joy, and entire afternoons pass in the same chair. And then, there's the mental noise, the background hum of news headlines, anxious thoughts, or conversations that leave you feeling drained instead of uplifted. The body and mind are deeply connected, especially in later years. When you're constantly feeding your system with processed foods, negative input, or physical inactivity, it's like planting seeds in dry soil. Nothing nourishing can grow there. But the beauty of this moment in life is that you don't need a full overhaul. You just need one small step at a time, taken with love and intention. Maybe today, instead of skipping a meal, you prepare something light and colorful. A bowl of fruit, a slice of warm toast with a spread you enjoy. Maybe you turn on your favorite song and let your body sway for just a few minutes, feeling the rhythm move through your bones. Maybe you choose to turn off the television earlier and spend a little time outside, watching the sky shift colors. Change doesn't have to be grand to be meaningful. In fact, it's the gentlest changes that often last the longest. Choosing a daily walk, even just around the block. Reaching for water before your morning coffee. Laughing more, worrying less. Giving yourself permission to enjoy without guilt. And when old habits try to pull you back, because they will, remind yourself that you are not stuck. You are capable. You are still becoming. And every healthy choice you make, no matter how small, is a gift you give your future self. There's so much strength in simply deciding to care for yourself again, not out of fear, but out of respect, out of love. And that love starts with letting go of what drains you, so there's more room for what uplifts you. It's about renewal. It's about reclaiming your well-being, one tender step at a time. 4. Let go of the fear of change. By now, you've likely navigated more changes than you can count. And yet, even in our later years, change can feel just as unsettling as it did when we were young. The unknown still has the power to stir up fear. But here's the truth. Resisting change doesn't stop it from happening. It only makes the journey harder. After 70, change comes in many forms. Sometimes it's subtle, like switching medications or learning a new morning routine. Other times it's deeply emotional, like moving out of a long-time home or adjusting to life after the loss of a spouse. And let's not forget the kind of change that creeps in quietly, but feels enormous, like figuring out how to use a smartphone or attend a doctor's appointment over video. Marjorie, a spirited 74-year-old from Charleston, South Carolina, never considered herself tech-savvy. When her daughter moved across the country, her world felt smaller and lonelier. Her granddaughter encouraged her to try video calls, but for months, Marjorie refused. She was convinced she'd get it wrong, feel embarrassed, or break something. But eventually, with a little patient guidance, she gave it a try. That small act opened a new door. Now, every Sunday afternoon, her living room fills with the smiling faces of her daughter and grandkids. She even joined a virtual book club and proudly helps her neighbors troubleshoot their tablets. "I thought I was too old to figure it out," she laughed. "But this little screen brought my family right back into my life." Change doesn't always feel like an invitation. Sometimes, it feels like a storm you didn't ask for. But beneath the discomfort lies something powerful: growth. You've been here before. Think of all the times you've had to adjust, learn, stretch, and overcome. You didn't just survive. You found new ways to thrive. That's still possible even now. A smaller home might seem like a loss at first, but it could also mean less to clean, fewer worries, and more freedom. Trying out a new routine might feel awkward, but it could be the beginning of a healthier rhythm. And yes, even embracing unfamiliar technology might seem intimidating, but it might also be the bridge that keeps your family close and your mind active. You don't have to embrace every change with open arms, but you can take small steps. Try, ask for help, give yourself permission to be a beginner again. There's no shame in learning slowly, only strength in not giving up. Each time you lean into change instead of resisting it, you reclaim a piece of your confidence. You remind yourself that your story is still unfolding, and you're still the author. You're never too old to begin again. In fact, some of the most beautiful chapters are written later in life, when wisdom meets courage, and fear gives way to growth. 5. Let go of items that no longer serve you. Look around your home. Every shelf, drawer, and closet holds more than just things. They hold memories, milestones, and perhaps even grief. Over time, those items, once comforting, can begin to weigh on you like invisible stones in your pockets. What once brought joy may now feel like a burden you're quietly carrying. And that's completely normal. After all, you didn't accumulate these things overnight. Each piece had a purpose, a story. But just as your needs have changed, so too can your environment. You might notice that your living space no longer feels peaceful. Maybe it's harder to find what you need, or maybe you avoid certain rooms because they're too full of stuff and of emotion. This isn't just about tidiness. Studies show that clutter in older adults' homes can contribute to stress, poor sleep, even a higher risk of falls. But the most powerful shift comes from the emotional space clearing can create. Letting go of items doesn't mean letting go of your past. It means honoring it, then making space for the life you're living now. Start small. One drawer, one shelf, one closet. Hold each item and ask yourself, does this still serve me? Does it still bring comfort or usefulness in my life today? If the answer is no, that's okay. It doesn't make the memory any less real. It simply means you've outgrown the need to hold on to its object. Imagine walking into your home and feeling it breathe with you. Open surfaces, gentle light filtering through windows, your favorite chair waiting for you, not buried behind boxes. It's not about perfection, it's about peace. Consider donating items that no longer serve you, but could help someone else. Pass down heirlooms to loved ones with a story attached. Repurpose something old into something that fits who you are now. These acts aren't just about cleaning. They're about reclaiming your space and your energy. And if it feels overwhelming, remember, this is not a race. You don't have to clear out your entire house in a weekend. In fact, the slower, more thoughtful approach is often the most healing. Let this be a gentle process, a loving way to reflect on how far you've come and how much more lightly you can step forward. After all you've walked through, every season, every shift, it's clear. The most peaceful lives aren't built by holding on tighter, but by learning what to release. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It doesn't mean forgetting who you are or what you've been through. It means finally setting down the weight that's kept you from breathing deeply and living fully. Letting go is not about loss. It's about creating space for peace, for connection, for laughter. It's about making room in your life and heart for what truly matters now. Because now, this chapter is yours, and it deserves light, grace, and gentleness. If something in this message spoke to you, pass it along. Someone else might need this same quiet permission to lighten their load. Be sure to subscribe so you can join us for more conversations like this. Gentle reminders, thoughtful reflections, and simple steps toward a fuller life.